typically see in a Graham and Rollins crab cake. These are Chesapeake Bay style crab cakes, and normally they bring the 4 ounce. This is 5 ounces. Not only that, but this was brand new just a few days ago. We have sold so many of these already. Now, here's the thing I want you to know. Couple quick things. First of all, this is the only offer this year that's going to be less than $100. Okay, just letting you know that when it comes to the 6 of these for $99.98, or we're going to double the amount to 12 if you want to, but we're not going to double your price, because if we doubled $99, it would be about $200. We're going to give you all 12 for $179.98. That saves you almost $20 on the 12 count option. These are going to be individually packaged, I believe.
They are.
And so the fact is, you can take out 1 or 2 or all 6 or whatever you want, but you do have to pick a ship date. These will ship out right now if you want, but that's limited, especially in the 12 count. We have 150 to go around in the 12 count. We've already sold 3,500 just in the last few days. We can also ship them out the week of October 7th or the week of November 4th, and that's already popular too. This is the man behind the brand. This is Johnny Graham's, and I gotta tell you, Johnny Graham, this is a 4-generation company that's been around since, you said 1942.
That is correct.
That's amazing.
My great-grandfather started a company
Wow.
in Hampton, Virginia, based in the Chesapeake Bay. As you said, 4 generations of picking the finest crab meat in the world. That's the Chesapeake Bay species. It's important to note that that is the only species of crab that we utilize in making these crab cakes. Why? Because, as I said, it's the sweetest in the world.
It is. And you were telling me that these crab cakes, from the time that you get the crab till the cake is made and frozen, flash frozen, is 48 hours or less.
Could be within 48 hours. That is correct.
Wow, that's
yes.
amazing. So what makes your crab cakes so far superior?
Well, the fact that we use that species of crab is number 1. Number 2, the fact that we only use it in a fresh state. Now let's talk about that. What is fresh versus frozen versus pasteurized? Because typically those are the forms that crab meat's brought into this country. In fact, 90% of the crab meat consumed in our country is brought in container ships, pasteurized in a can.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but usually when you find crab meat in a can, first off, it's been cooked a second time, because you have to cook the crabs to pick the meat out to begin with.
Sure.
So they pick the crab meat and then they put it into a can, and we're looking at video footage here. We'll talk about my plant. We'll talk about the pasteurized later.
Yeah.
But here in our plant, we steam our crabs. They're not boiled in water. We steam them under pressure. The crabs are brought into refrigeration overnight, and the next day they're brought out and they're picked, all picked by hand. And as you see the crab cakes being formed there, they are also all done by hand. And that's important to note, because there's no machinery out there, Mary Beth, that can handle crab meat, because it's so fragile and so tender.
Yeah.
So we have a practice that we utilize to make sure that all these crab cakes are done by hand. And the jumbo lumps that you see on top of these crab cakes are not, they are placed, but they're placed strategically, because people, let's face it, they buy and they shop and they eat with their eyes first.
They do.
Okay.
But
they're also embedded throughout the inside of the cake as well.
So true.
We are in the crab meat business, and that's what we're selling here, is the crab meat first, right?
If you've ever had absolutely. If you've ever had a crab cake that was basically just shredded crab, you know, you're like, where's the crab? Because you can't hardly find it. You don't ask that question when you're going into this crab cake. But I also have to tell you something, and that is the flavor of even the seasonings and what's around the crab meat is delicious. It's better than like almost any other crab cake I've ever had.
Well, my grandmother would thank you for that, because it is her recipe. She passed away in 2000, but it is a family recipe that's been passed down through the years, and we're proud of it. You know, for 16 years we've been selling these on QVC with great success. And this, by the way, is the only place you can find these crab cakes, here or on our company website. Here's how they're going to come. They're going to come in this frozen package, IQF frozen, individual quick frozen. We freeze them at 80 below, and by doing so, we capture all of that freshness. Just conventionally freezing it doesn't do the justice. It zaps it so fast because there's so much water in a crab cake, it'll break down. But we don't allow that, because we want you to experience this crab cake, as you said, 48 hours it was swimming in the bay or
Yeah.
in tributary.
Right.
And we turn it into a crab cake.
It's amazing.
And we do this so we can have that experience to share with your loved ones at home.
And that's why you want to get these now. In fact, many of you may want to go ahead and get a couple sets and even have them come at other, dates. Let me explain what I'm talking about. If you look right here, you have your choice of 6 or 12. I want you to know if you want it shipped out right now, if you want all 12 shipped out right now because you're like, I want my crab cake. We have 130 to go around, so you want to get that right away. I will tell you, if you ship out all 12 on October 7th, 150 to go around, and November 4th, about the same. Now, if you want the set of 6, maybe that's all you need is a set of 6. That price is $99.98. This is the last time this year you're going to get a chance to get the Graham and Rollins crab cakes, the Chesapeake Bay style crab cakes. Get 6 of them for less than $100. They will be more than that. And Graham's like, Johnny's like, I don't even know how they're doing it right now. Here's what I want you to know too. This company has already been nominated in our Customer Choice Food Awards this year. We haven't announced the winners yet, but they've already been nominated for Best Shellfish and Best Stock Up and Save. And on this one, we're not allowing you to stock up and save as far as auto delivery.
Correct.
But we are letting you do stock up and save by getting 12 instead of 6. The problem is if you get 6 and you eat 3 of them, you're like, oh no, we only have 3 left. If you get 12 of them, you're going to be so glad you did. How long are these good in the freezer for?
They're good for 1 year if you can keep them that long.
Okay, exactly. And by the way, 4,000 now totally gone since we brought these out just a couple of days ago. Talk to me about how we should cook these.
Absolutely. So you take that frozen crab cake I showed earlier, you
Yeah.
put it in a preheated oven at 400 degrees, and you bake it for roughly 30 to 32 minutes for the 5-ounce crab cake. And if you like them brown and crispy on the outside,
Yeah.
I'll always suggest to turn that oven to broil for those last several minutes.
Good idea.
And they will come out just like you see in the camera right now, exactly the same way. We call it goof proof. We've done all the work for you.
Yeah.
You don't need to pull any crab meat or mayonnaise or crackers.
Nothing on top?
Nothing on top is needed. And
Wow.
they cook even faster in the air fryer.
Yeah, I was just
Okay?
going to say.
If you thaw it out, you can put it in an air fryer and it'll cook in less than 18 minutes.
Oh my goodness. We should thaw them though, or should we cook them from
No,
frozen
you want to
in
cook
the
them in the
oven?
oven from frozen.
Okay,
If you
got
want to cook
it.
them in the
But
oven,
in an
straight
air
from
fryer,
frozen.
thawed.
Yes.
Here's what I want to remind you. Look at these pieces. And these are big. These are 5 ounces.
Full 5 ounces.
That's amazing because a lot of crab cakes out there are 3 ounces. Most of them
Correct.
that you see here at QVC are 4 ounces. This is the 5-ounce size. And look at these big jumbo lump pieces of crab meat. I mean, really, truly succulent, juicy, tender. That's what you're getting, not just on top, but throughout. And it's all because of Graham and Rollins. They've been around since 1942. They would not have stayed around since 1942 if they weren't doing it right. That's for sure. Isn't that the truth?
Did we mention there's 77% crab in here? That was the third item that I
Thank
forgot to tell you about that's most important about the characterization of ours versus the competition.
77% of each crab cake is crab meat.
Correct.
Wow.
That's a lot.
4,500 of these already ordered. And just remember, you can get 6 or 12, but do that right away. All right, if you missed anything in this show, Johnny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you missed anything in this show, go back to QVC.com. You can see all the foods that Jane and I showed you. And don't forget, you want to get a lot of these prices before they're gone at the end of the day today. In the meantime, Jane Tracy's up next with 2 big hours of Valerie